well, perhaps a little more typical weather this Sunday afternoon in Seattle. It's overcast, but it's still nice enough that the roof has been opened above the field here at Safeco. The Rockies and Mariners playing the rubber game. Seattle won last night 7-2. The Rockies were held to 4 hits. The Rockies won 4-2 on 11 hits on Friday night. So the Rockies, again, an opportunity to take 2 of 3 before this road trip continues down south in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Charlie Blackmon will be first for the Rockies. He had yesterday off. He got 37 stolen bases, first since Willie Taveras to produce more than 30 stolen bases in a Rockies uniform. The rest of the Southwest batting order this Sunday for Walt. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. There are left-handed bats in the lineup. LeMahieu Arenado, Gonzalez, Willeen Rosario, Justin Morneau, Christian Adames, Dustin Garneau, Brandon Barnes. So 3 lefties against the big left-hander, James Paxton. And Paxton's an interesting guy. He's got a big arm from the left side. At one point, he was a #1 pick and opted not to sign with Toronto. And he was eventually drafted the following year in the 4th round by Seattle. He's been out since late May, Jeff. But again, this is a good arm.
Yeah, first start since May 28th. And talking to their manager, Lloyd McClendon, they were really expecting him to slide into and be a solid #2 starter for them. But he's only made 10 starts, as you referenced. May 28th was his last start. Just up the road from Lauderdale, BC, which is about 133 miles from Safeco Field. So he's got a lot of friends and family that attend his starts when he makes them here in Seattle.
Yeah, he shares something in common with Justin Morneau. He's from a suburb of Vancouver, just about 22 miles north of the border. So here we go. First pitch of the ball game is in there. Strike 1 on Charlie.
What makes Paxton hard to hit is 6'4", 235, but he throws across his body. He's got some arms and legs, and then straight over the top.
And this is an easy play for first baseman Logan Morrison. I'll tell you what's difficult, and it should cut both ways, but a little more so today from Paxton's standpoint. The Rockies have never seen James Paxton unless they've gotten him for an inning or 2 in spring training. As you look at his pitch usage, and if you throw 94, sit on 94, you ought to throw it a lot, and that's why it's 72% of the time. So when you talk to some of the Rockies hitters, especially you get here in September, facing an American League club and a lot of arms they're not familiar with, it's difficult. Now, again, it should cut both ways, but today the Rockies have a veteran guy in Kyle Kendrick, so there is a little bit more familiarity when it comes to Seattle.
Yeah, and not a guy that throws from the left side, not as hard as Paxton. But it is hard when you're going up against a guy. You can listen to all the scouting reports you want. Say, oh, he throws 94. He uses his curveball 13% of the time. He will go with the changeup and a cut fastball. But until you're standing in that box trying to eyeball it, all that stuff sounds well and good. But I need to see it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hitters say that all the time. That pitch called a strike. It's 2-1 on DJ. Hitting .315. 65 degrees our game time temperature. And there are a little bit of cracks in the clouds, some blue sky overhead. Good to see. First 2 days, you could not have ordered better weather here in Seattle. It sprinkled last night, a little bit this morning.
Everybody we ran into with Seattle's, they were joking. No, we ordered that up for you guys.
That was very nice.
That was. Tried to take credit for the weather.
That's always a main topic of conversation here. 3-1 misses, ball 4. So DJ jogs down to first, and that'll bring up Nolan Arenado. Nolan drove in a run yesterday for the Rockies with a sac fly. It's been a late change that Dougie eyeballed. We have not heard from the PR department of Seattle. It was supposed to be Brad Miller in center field, the versatile one, but instead that is James Jones out there. Let's see if they had to reconfigure their batting order also. Yeah, they have a completely new batting order, and nobody was kind enough to share that with the broadcasters. Here's the defensive alignment: Trumbo, Jones, Smith, Seager, Marte, Cano, Morrison, and Steve Barron is doing the catching today.
Well, they said they scratched him with neck spasms, so that would be Brad Miller. But I'm looking at the big board up in center field, and they just changed it because they had Miller up until 15 seconds ago.
Nolan fouls that pitch off. It's 1-1.
Okay, but they didn't.
That's gonna mess up our book.
Well, I was going to say
hate when they do that.
but only 2 spots in our book, so it didn't change it from the.
That's because Lloyd didn't want to mess up his scorecard. Big left-hander, 26-year-old. You know, he went to college at the University of Kentucky. They recruited him all the way from BC, and he was teammates for a year with Chris Russin.
2009 for the Wildcats.
This is fouled off. He's pretty quick to the plate, plus being on the left side. DJ's got 22 stolen bases, but does not look like an easy guy to run with.
No, and if he's quick to the plate, tough to read, then you're just going to have to guess and go first movement. And I'm going to go, and that leg comes up. It doesn't come up very high.
It doesn't come up really. It's like a semi-slide step.
And that's hard for a guy that's 6'4", 235 pounds to do. Most of the time, or the majority of the time, those guys will be longer, even with when they're trying to be quicker to the plate. It'll still end up being around 135.
And Arenado goes down on the strikeout. Rockies struck out 14 times yesterday. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies do score 7 or more in any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special with Masa Taco Bell. So Cargo, who has not had a hit in this series, he's 0 for 7 with a walk, just 2 for 18 on the road trip. Those 5 home runs, one of the top marks against interleague competition this year. Outfield deepens up. Cargo gets a slider on the first pitch.
That's what he's gotten pretty much every at bat that he's had with the left-hander.
With the lefty
last night.
It's spinning, isn't it?
It is, and it's not sharp and down. It's more sideways.
Steve Barron called for a slider there and then threw his hands up in the air. And you say, well, why don't you sit on it? Well, the guy throws 95, 96. You can't do that. And that's a strike. Got it again.
They made sure
zone early for Jordan Baker.
And they made sure that every time they throw it, they never leave it inside. If they miss, it's going to be in the other batter's box.
And they're going to show a fastball in. DJ took off on that pitch, which in this kind of count, I like that move because obviously everything's favoring Paxton right now. Let's say you steal a bag and it's 1 and 2, Cargo throws out a base hit, you almost steal a run.
And for DJ, he's seen Paxton enough where he can read him.
See if they go back to the slider or the curveball. Down, and DJ steals second base, standing up. Let's see if it pays off for the Rockies. 23rd.
23 of 26 for DJ.
Maybe as impressive as the total, the fact that he has only been caught 3 times.
You're looking at above 75% is really the threshold. Anything above that, and then now you're talking up into the upper 80s, low 90s. That is the supreme territory.
3-2. And you know what? I'd put DJ and Charlie in the same category. And what I mean by that is both of them run better than average, but they're not flyers. Charlie's a long strider. They're not D. Gordon. They're not, you know, Eric Young Jr. They're not Billy Hamilton, where you just say, oh my goodness, they have, you know, they can time warp kind of speed.
They can get a bad jump and
strike
still
3 on the outside corner. So they have to do a lot of homework. Rockies leave DJ at second. No scores. We go to the bottom of the first. We'll have Ryan Spilborghs along in a little bit. Let's take a look at the Seattle lineup today against Kyle Kendrick. And with the change up top is James Jones. In fact, we're not going to look at our lineup because our lineup is still being reconfigured with the late change. So James Jones will lead things off today. Now, actually, Ketel Marte is going to lead it off. Never mind. They've inserted Jones in the 9 spot. So Ketel Marte will lead it off. And here we go. Kyle Kendrick's first pitch of the ball game's in there for a strike. Here's the Southwest batting order. Rewritten moments ago. Seager, Cruz, Cano, Trumbo, Seth Smith, good numbers against Kendrick. Logan Morrison, Steve Barron, the catcher, and now Jones in the lineup. 1-1.
For Kyle Kendrick, this is his first career appearance against Seattle, the 27th major league team that he's had a chance to play against. One of the teams is the team he pitched for a long time. Philadelphia never faced him. Baltimore and Detroit, the other 2 teams.
Well, this is nice too for Kyle because he's back in his home state.
Went to Mount Vernon High School, 65 miles to the north, straight up I-5.
Ketel Marte lifts it to center field. Easy play for Blackman. 1 out. Here the Rockies defensively. Brandon Barnes been moved all around the outfield in this series. Brandon's going to be in left field today. Blackman at center. Cargo is in right. And you see the infield with Christian Adames playing for Jose Reyes. Reyes is slowly getting better with that Achilles strain. Dustin Garneau doing the catching after Tom Murphy made his major league debut last night. And Walt was talking about the catching situation this afternoon with some members of the media and said that He's going to mix and match it the rest of the way. So Tom will get ample opportunity. It sounded, reading between the lines, like maybe more or less a 50-50 split. Is that what you gathered from it?
Yeah, and he did say, though, he might throw Wallin back there again with De La Rosa when he starts in L.A.
That'll be Wednesday. Wallin has caught one game this year. That was a couple days ago. Forced into action again. If you missed it, Nick Hundley out for the season with a strained neck, a cervical strain. Sounds a lot more, I shouldn't say it sounds more serious. It is serious. Serious enough that, you know, he would be down in that 3 to 4 week range. Nothing that requires surgery, but clearly is going to take him through the end of the season. He was placed on the 60-day DL.
But now a chance for Nick to help mentor some of these young guys, the Tom Murphy, the Dustin Garneaus, because he's on the road trip. He can talk to them. That's what's nice about having a veteran presence around. But what a sign it was to get Nick here this year, what he's done.
Listen, and I'm really happy for Nick individually. Unfortunate about the injury curtailing the last few weeks of the season. But he finishes at .301, by far a career best in batting average.
That's always going to be on the back of the baseball card. 301. Hit over 300 in the big leagues one year.
That's right.
And he raised his career batting average up. I know at one point it was up about 7 or 8 points. Two starts since coming off the DL, 1-0. Got his first win since July 26 when he beat San Diego at Petco on the 7th.
This ball in the air to Cargo and right. He's got it. And Seager's retired. Rockies fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts and photos. Use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Make sure you include the hashtag Toyota Talk. 2 outs, Nelson Cruz coming up. Nelson hit his 41st yesterday, tying Chris Davis for the major league lead. We were discussing that a little bit in the open. He's the 10th Mariner all time to produce at least 15 home runs in a season at Safeco. Never been an easy task to hit a multitude of home runs in this facility.
As the saying goes, as strong and powerful as he is, he could hit it out of the Grand Canyon.
Swung on and missed, 0-2. Most home runs in interleague play in a season. Jim Thome once hit 11, and Cruz is knocking on the door with 10. This is his final opportunity. Final interleague game of the season for the Rockies. That is strike 3. So Kyle Kendrick, a strong beginning. 1-2-3 through the Seattle lineup in the first. We'll go to the second. No score in Seattle.
And the Rockies this year, 6-26 against left-handed pitching. That is a huge problem. There's no other team in baseball with a lower record against left-handed pitching. 249 batting average, a 670 OPS. I asked Blake Doyle what he's trying to do.
Today we're gonna set hard at first and see what happens from there. Spilly, you know this. You can't go up and say hunt inside. When you start hunting inside, then you start pulling off. So we're going to start today at the big part of the field, and then adjust from there.
The hardest part about hitting is trying to have an approach, and more left-handed pitchers are throwing the ball inside. And when you're throwing the ball inside, as a hitter, you can either do two things: look for the pitch inside, or back off the plate and wait for a pitch to kind of give you some space so you can make the ball towards the big part of the ballpark. But when I start watching the problems with the Rockies hitters, number one, they're not very patient. Number two, when you're not very patient, you don't walk very often, it's hard to wait for those pitches. So I'd love to see this team, if you're not going to make an approach about pulling the baseball, get off the plate and take more pitches.
Well, the Rockies, to your point, Spilly, they don't walk much. I mean, they're a very aggressive offensive team, which typically means, Huey, when a pitcher hits his spots, the Rockies are going to have issues. Yesterday was case in point. They hit spots, and the Rockies had only 4 hits. Now, when you miss against a lineup like the Rockies, you're going to pay heavily, typically. But it's going to be with the slugging. It's not going to be a lot of manufactured runs because, to Spilly's point, this is not a patient offensive team. It's a very aggressive offensive team.
Or if they get ahead in the count, if they're throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, then you can't wait a pitcher out. You start to have to expand the zone, and that's when the pitcher's on, as you say, hitting his spots, getting ahead. Now it's 0-1. It's harder for a hitter to say, "Oh, I'm going to look for a certain pitch," because you only have 2 strikes left.
0-1 on Morneau, battle of natives of British Columbia. Morney's hitting his last 4 since his return. 2 balls and a strike.
Drew, Huey, part of when we're going to start seeing a lot of left-handed pitchers this week, I asked Walt, are we going to start seeing more left-handed hitters in the lineup? And he said, well, you know what? Some of the at-bats that the guys have been taking, Justin Morneau, Charlie Blackmon, have been very good, very quality. And really, with this day and age, the way left-handed pitchers are pitching, they're creating better angles against right-handed hitters. They're throwing inside more. It's not like it used to be where left-handed pitchers threw soft away, look away, and hit the ball away.
And more cut fastballs. You see the pop-up to Logan Morrison. That cut fastball is the equalizer to a right-handed batter.
Yeah, and if the splits aren't enormous, Walt was saying, why fall in the pattern of, well, automatically we're going to load up on righties? And sometimes it makes sense. I mean,
like tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, Clayton Kershaw tomorrow is the bull that the Rockies will draw in that opening game at Dodger Stadium, and my guess is you won't see Carlos Gonzalez. I don't think you'll see Justin Morneau. You know, the one guy maybe you'd see, and that's because he had yesterday off, and this is just a guess, is maybe a Charlie Blackmon. But outside of that, I think tomorrow Walt will load up on right-handed bats.
You might even put a Rafi Yano in left field.
You could do that.
Yeah, you go that route.
Ball is up the middle a little bit, and that little bobble by Marte, and Adames will reach. Looks like the ball came up late on Marte.
It did. He had the bead on it going up the middle, and then at the last hop came up. Gonna go as an E6 right off the heel of the glove. 3rd error of the season for Marte. Those are the hard ones. And when you're moving laterally for an infielder, you're expecting the ball to be one spot. If you're stationary or the ball's right at you, you can adjust if it's a bad hop. You can bring your hands up. But when you're moving laterally and it comes up at the last moment, usually you'll see that off the heel.
So that'll bring up Dustin Garneau, leading the club in RBIs on the road trip with 5. 3 came on one swing. In Seattle on Friday. And he takes a strike at 93. Well, his time in the big leagues for young players is invaluable. Hopefully you do enough like this, a base hit for Garneau, that you take confidence into the offseason. So next year when you go to spring training, you're trying to compete to make that 25-man roster, Jeff. You've been in that situation as a young player in a September call-up where you say, you know what? I know I can play at this level.
Different swagger about you when you walk in the clubhouse the next year. You say, I've played in the big leagues. I know what it's like. Even if it's only for 30 days or 28 days, whatever it may be, you now have what the kids like to say, some street cred. They say you belong. You've been here.
And it doesn't mean you had to hit 350 to say, but you know what? You hit 230, but you take away positives, whatever it is, and say, you know what? I can handle it. I can play at this level. Brandon Barnes at the plate with 2 outs and 2 on.
And that's an important piece, and sometimes it's that last piece of the puzzle for a player to have it in his own mind that I can compete here and I can do something at the major league level instead of just wondering if you can.
Ball and a strike on Barnes. 316 career hitter against the Mariners. Away for a moment from Steve Barron. This is we were talking about Garneau. This month for Lloyd McClendon is, I'm being facetious, but it's almost like tryout camp for all their young catchers. There was an interesting piece in the Seattle Times today about trying to find a guy, and Lloyd McClendon was, emphatic that he still believes in Mike Zunino, but as you pointed out yesterday, Mike Zunino, who was hitting below 180 when he was sent out, was not recalled with September call-ups. This will end the inning. Mike Zunino was left down in their spring training complex to work on his swing. They are looking for a catcher who works both ways. No score. Toyota stores, Toyota, let's go places. By Clean, Crisp, Coors Light, and by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. No score in Seattle at Safeco Field with Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs. I'm Drew Goodman. Robinson Cano will lead things off here in the second inning. 1-2-3 start for Kendrick in the first. Robbie had a long home run to right in the ball game. We've been watching him kind of go slowly up the baseline when he hits a ground ball, and I think if people were unaware, they'd say, boy, he's just jaking and he's not going very hard. But he had an abdominal strain about a month and a half ago that's still bothering him. He will not come out of the lineup, though, even though Lloyd McClendon's tried to give him a day. And so he's just smart about it. When he runs hard, that's when it feels like it may pull. So you're not going to see Robbie Cano try to leg out an infield hit.
No, but he wants to play. And for that, I admire him.
Absolutely.
Because you're on a team that's 5 games under 500. You're sitting 7.5 back, 6.5 in the wild card. He says, no, I want to be out there. You know, if it means that I can't run hard down the line, okay. Well, we saw what he's done with the bat last night.
Brandon Barnes makes the catch. That'll bring up Mark Trumbo. Fortunately, the Rockies have kept Trumbo quiet in this series, and let's hope it remains so, because his numbers earlier this year and last year against the Rockies were eye-opening, to say the least.
Yeah, how about that? A big shout out to the Asheville Tourists. Keep it going.
Yeah, they advance, winning that series against Savannah 2-1. Trumbo's 4 for 11 lifetime against Kendrick. Career against the Rockies, 23 games, 333 average, 10 home runs, 32 RBIs. Big man. He gets moved back off the plate, 1-1.
He was traded to Seattle back on June 3rd, and the first 22 games was not pretty. A 139 average, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, but since July 4th, 308, 11, and 31.
One and two. A splitter count for Kendrick. We'll see what he uses here. Trumbo hitting .307 his last 29 games. With every challenge called, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Just downside. 2-2. And now 3-2. Three and two on Trumbo with 1 out. Seth Smith. Well, this group that's gathered here on this first Sunday of the NFL season, a little grumpy right now. Moments ago, the Seahawks lost in overtime in St. Louis, 34-31.
Rams had to score late to tie them up.
Yes.
Seahawks had taken the lead.
Yeah, Seahawks were in control. 3-2. And sharply hit, but at Christian Adames. 2 gone, and that will bring up Seth Smith. See that location? You got that below the knees. Trumbo put the barrel on it, but it was on the ground. Smith so far this year against the Rockies, and this is the second series the Mariners have played the Rockies. Seattle took 2 of 3 in Denver earlier this year. Smith's just 1 for 8 against his former club. Lifetime, though, a .375 average coming into the year. He's 5 for 10 against Kyle Kendrick. Smith, who still makes his home outside of Jackson, Mississippi, where he grew up, his wife and family.
I was going to say he's really struggled in the second half.
Nearly hitting over 200. .209 in the second half. A couple home runs, 11 RBIs, 8 home runs, .268 average, pretty solid for Seth in the first half of the season. Check swing, foul ball, 1-2.
Laughing because that wasn't really a check swing.
That was a 1/4 swing, and it still found part of the bat.
That's when you know things are going bad for you. That didn't even check swing all the way, and I still foul it off. The only thing worse for him would have been if he hit it back to the pitcher.
Fastball right there, and he did that earlier. He painted to get Nelson Cruz in the first inning, and he freezes Seth Smith. So Kyle Kendrick in a good place. Get him some runs. We'll go to the third, no score. Seahawks. See, I got football on my mind. See, and the Mariners scoreless. Time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag RMDataStrongFan, and you might see yourself in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Charlie Blackmon at the top of the Rockies order against the Seattle Seahawks/Mariners today. Cam Chancellor didn't want to play for the Seahawks. He's holding out, so he's in center field today for the Marineros.
That was last night.
Oh, was that last night?
Marineros were last night.
Got new unis
celebrating baseball in Seattle.
There's a strike, 2-1. outside, 3-1.
Good eye.
So leadoff walk for Blackman. Rockies have had some traffic against Paxton. They had a 1-out walk in the first, couple runners on with 2 outs last inning. LeMahieu walked his first time up, staring down at Stu Cole. Speed at first now at Blackman. 37 stolen bases.
Give a throw over. I mean, you could almost write a script on that after the steal of DJ. Not going to let Charlie take off.
By on LeMahieu. DJ 1 for 8 in the series. Since the 4th of July, LeMahieu has hit .344, which is 4th best in the National League. Another check on Blackman.
Bryce Harper still leading the National League at .333 batting average. Buster Posey, he's hitting second now, .327.
Joe, we're going to talk a little MVP race later on in the broadcast. It's going to be interesting in the National League. That's a strike, 1-1.
And you might get a winner this year that a team doesn't make the playoffs.
Seems pretty likely that that could happen. For most of this year, Bryce Harper has been the front runner. And he has done, even though Washington's fallen apart, he's done nothing to, in my mind, diminish his candidacy. Two and one on LeMahieu. Let's see if Charlie takes off. Nope, and it's fouled off.
I thought he might. It was a count. There was a good running count, maybe a hit and run.
You like 2-2 as a run and hit count?
Not really.
That's inside, 3-2. Now you may get some movement.
Yeah, now that's why a 2-2 to me is kind of that in-between one. I don't like it because I still think that the advantage is a little bit to the hitter. I don't want to put him on the defensive. Now 3-2, sure.
Charlie takes off and a little foul ball at the plate.
Charlie, these are now after you take off, you have to be real sure that he's not going to come over to first base.
It's a big chopper to third and safe there. Seager tried to get the force and Cano completes the play onto first. Actually, Marte completes the play onto first. It was really a 5-6-3 put out, but into scoring position because the Rockies had Charlie in motion.
And Marte was a foot off the bag. One hopper to Seager. He throws to second. Marte not expecting it. So it's just the put out at first. It goes 5-6-3.
Here's Arenado at the plate. Talking about a guy who smells RBIs. Going to third, Blackmon, and he swipes it. Now that is a huge bag. And it is always easier, Huey, you were a good base stealer, easier to steal third on a lefty than second by a long shot.
And it helps when you have a right-handed hitter at the plate, so it makes it harder for the catcher to make the throw. But that's all Charlie. He took off, gets over into easy scoring position now for Nolan. Mariners have brought the infield in. 38 stolen base in 51 attempts for number 19.
Two and one on Arenado. And he drives this ball to deep right. It'll get the run home as it is caught out there by Seth Smith. Jogging home is Blackmon. And that's a manufactured run because of the wheels and the smarts of Charlie Blackmon. 1-0 Colorado. 110th RBI for Arenado.
It all started with a leadoff walk from Charlie. And you have him take off. On DJ gets the second, steals third, and Nolan, much like what he did last night with the sac fly to right field. Take what they give you, you drive in another run.
Just great situational at bat.
That whole inning was a great situational inning.
Yep. Cargo looking to push a bunt to that vacant left side. It wasn't in the strike zone, so it's 1-0. Got a heavy dose of breaking balls his first time up. Was behind 0-2, worked it to 3-2, and then a breaking ball caught him looking. Here's the 1-0. And that's in there, 1-1. You see already that Paxton's trying to change the pattern, going hard in the second at bat against Cargo.
The little games pitchers will play with hitters and vice versa. You know, hitters will try to set up pitchers.
2-1. Well, Nolan now with 110 ribbies. You know, the last Rocky to drive in 100 or more runs was 2011 when Tulo drove in over 100. The last Rocky to drive in more than 110, the guy at the plate, Carlos Gonzalez, in that marvelous season in 2010 when he led the league in hitting, he drove in 117, hit 34 home runs. He's moved past that previous career best now with 37 home runs. 2-2.
That was a 56-foot curveball.
Did it go that far?
Yeah, I think so. It just kind of eyeballing it in front of home plate. I mean, it made the dirt, but not by much.
And Paxton strikes out Gonzalez again. In the inning, the Rockies get a leadoff walk from Blackmon. He ends up moving around to third, and then Nolan brought him home.
Celebrate halfway to St. Paddy's Day on the rooftop on Saturday, September 26th. Purchase a special ticket package, and the first 500 people to visit the rooftop check-in table will receive a free pair of St. Paddy's Day sunglasses. Visit Rockies.com/Irish to purchase.
Logan Morrison at the plate. 6 up, 6 set down so far by Kendrick. He lays down a bunt. Kyle dives, won't have a play. Infield base hit, bunt single for Logan Morrison. Cargo thought about doing that a moment ago against the shift.
Logan gets this pitch down. It wasn't a great bunt, but with the shift on, you just have to get it by the pitcher. And then Logan, that's close to being out of the batter's box when he made contact with that ball where his left foot was. And if that's the case, he would have been out, but they didn't call it.
I don't know if I've ever seen that called, or if I have, it's been a long, long time. And now Morrison going. You should cut him down here, and you will. Good catch by the shortstop, Christian Adames, on a perfect throw from Dustin Garneau. So Logan Morrison going. The bunt was pulled back by Barron.
And a lot of things going on for Dustin. The ball skips. He's got to make the throw down to second. Adames with the tag of Logan Morrison. Tried to sneak a check twice. Didn't come through that time. But another first for Dustin. That's his first base runner he's thrown out this year.
Ball and a strike on Steve Barron. Made his major league debut a few days ago. Caught a shutout.
One-hit shutout.
A one-hit shutout. 21st since 1914 to catch a shutout in his debut. Still looking for his first big league hit. 2 outs, and that'll bring up James Jones, a late insert into the ball game when versatile Brad Miller had a stiff neck. James started in center field on Friday night. Brooklyn kid who went to LIU, Long Island University. Was up for a good period of time last year. Stole 27 bases, in fact, last year for the Mariners. 108 games. This year, most of the season in Tacoma. Hit 272, 25 more stolen bases down in AAA. One and two. The 1-2, and that fastball down a little bit. For whatever reason, the Mariners have been a better team on the road this year. 32-39 at Safeco. On the road, they're over 500, 37-35.
Sometimes you just can't explain those numbers. It's your home ballpark. Used to hitting with the backdrop.
Two and two on Jones. And going to give this a look. It's going to be over the dugout, though. All right, it's going to be in the dugout. You know, right now the Rockies aren't appreciably better at home than they are on the road when you break down their record. They're 31-40 at home, 28-43 beginning play today out on the road. And that's something that you don't need to be a Phi Beta Kappa to figure out. That home record in particular really has to turn around for the Rockies to get where they want to be. 3-2 or 2-2, strike 3 on the hip side sinker. So nicely done by Kendrick. He has had 3 very strong innings. 1-0 Colorado on the Arenado sac fly.
Top of the 4th inning, 1-0. Well, I'm way up in the bleachers because coming up to bat is going to be Willian Rosario, who has tons of home run power. And I have a little conspiracy theory. I believe the ball is wound a lot tighter this year. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there's been more baseballs hit home runs over 470 feet, 23 already this season. In the last 3 years combined, only 22. So I'm saying with the Chris Bryant 495-foot homer a couple days ago, the ball is wound tighter. So that's why I'm way up here.
Well, you're about 520 feet from home plate. Good luck.
No, this is 473 feet. I measured it.
You
I
did?
counted it out, yeah.
Did you walk it off?
Yeah, like I should have brought my glove out here.
Well, after watching you try to catch that fish yesterday.
Well, yeah, baseballs aren't as slimy.
Not typically. This ball's hit well to center field. You're in the wrong place, Billy. It's over the head of James Jones. One hop over the wall. Go get that one.
Well, it'd take him too long because he'd have to go down the steps, go down another set of steps, go out to center field to get that ball.
Well, Rosario doubled in the 9th inning yesterday, and he has a ground rule double leading off here in the 4th.
13th double of the season for Willeen. And that's some strength. Jones took off running as soon as it was hit. Still bounces over the wall. So I'm going to just throw something at Spilly out there about this conspiracy theory. I think maybe it's more the tracking of the baseball now and the StatCast and everything that you can do to see how far it goes. Because remember, they used to be measured just by kind of a grid that was on a piece of paper.
I might buy that a little bit, but I don't know. I've been watching the balls coming off guys' bats. When they're running into baseballs, they're going pretty far. The ball that Daniel Descalso hit, and that's not to take anything away from Daniel Descalso, but on last week when he hit the ball at Petco Park, he went 500 feet.
It was 409.
I'm not going to dismiss. I'm not going to dismiss what you were saying, But I will also make this statement. I've said this before. If you took 5 people from, 100 people from outer Mongolia who've never seen a baseball game before, and you showed them a picture of, say, Babe Ruth, and you showed them a picture of, say, Giancarlo Stanton, and said, hey, which guy do you think, and explain what somebody throws this object and you swing this piece of wood, who do you think would hit it farther? Morneau draws a walk. I mean, would every guy from outer Mongolia pick the 6'8", basically 255-pound, strapped with muscles Giancarlo Stanton over the heavyset guy?
Yes.
Well, my point is, you guys are bigger, stronger, and you have more guys throwing hard. When you run into something 97, 98, it's going to go further. Well, again, Paxton's on a pitch count coming back off the finger injury, so Lloyd McClendon has just been alluding to is going to have a short leash. So Paxton
I'm going to retort
is
when we come
gone.
back.
66.
You hold that thought.
You will have that opportunity. 1-0 Rockies.
Replaces James Paxton. All right, Drew, I want to retort. 470 feet. And that's the number. And it's a pretty simple number. But think about this. You were talking about the size of players. Now the players are a lot bigger. And I agree, there are a lot bigger players. But it's not like all of a sudden Giancarlo Stanton and all these big guys just showed up between last year to this year. So I really, truly feel there's something strange in the water. There's something weird about that baseball. Numbers don't lie, Drew. They don't.
Spilly, are you old enough? You did turn 36 the other day. Are you old enough to have remembered the classic movie from about 35 years ago, The Big Chill?
Ooh, it sounds cold.
He doesn't remember.
He doesn't remember.
No. He's 36, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the
Already,
movie.
already
I don't remember
the flight. Okay,
premise of
get
it.
to your point.
Well, the line was, I'm evolving. Well, players are evolving, and they're bigger, and they're stronger, and they're faster, and we're talking all year. How would you explain guys throwing, 97 plus more frequently and more of them than ever before?
I agree with that. I'm not discrediting that. But it's not like all of a sudden all these players just showed up this year. That's my point.
No, but guys have made adjustments, and you're seeing the ball, as Spilly said. I think it's measured more accurately now.
I think that has a lot to do with it. Right. Yeah, the guys are hitting it out of the ballpark, and they're hitting it a long way. I'm not discrediting that at all. But I just remember they used to have this sheet that they had all the distances on it as far as when it hit a home run.
Oh, it landed right there.
It was in the seventh row in the second seat. Let me see that. Yeah, that's about 380 feet.
Right.
I mean, so I just think that has something to do with it because you're getting longer.
This is a great bunt. Look at that bunt by Adames. It's going to be a base hit. Spilly, we have one more thought for you.
How many feet did that bunt travel, by the way?
That was 67 feet.
We looked it up on our sheet.
We have this thing that comes up on our computer screen. It's a new thing. It's an app, actually. You can get it at home. 67 feet on that bunt. Spilly, look at us for a moment, okay?
It's hard to
Are you
see.
looking-
Are you
you
want me
looking
to
at
look in
us?
the booth or at the camera guy? Okay.
There you go. Ready?
Yeah.
We slammed the gavel down. We won that case. Case
Nobody
dismissed.
judges me. No one can judge me but Judy, okay?
Okay.
So, it's enough. I didn't lose this battle. This is just the start.
just-
It's
to start,
ongoing. That was
Judy.
round one.
We're going to
Well,
LA
come on,
with it.
23 homers over 470 feet, and in the last 3 years, 22. Come on, guys.
I have a conspiracy theory. Here's Garneau, play at the plate, wild throw, run scores, Rosario scores, and right behind him, here comes Morneau. And the Rockies have a 3-0 lead on the sloppy throw by Kyle Seager. All he has to do is he's got to force at the plate, and he rushed himself and threw that two-seamer, and he missed Steve Barron by 4 feet.
He's got a slow runner in Willeen going to the plate. The first guy, 16 errors for Seager. This is a easy throw for a third baseman. He throws it wildly. Time goes back into that runner. Barron tries to leap for it and get it. And now 2 runs come in.
So an E5, and this is up the middle.
Oh, I got a
Oh,
bad
we got
run down.
he had Garneau move up, and the best outcome, given the circumstances, is what occurred. Barnes ended up getting to second base on the out. 6-2 on that putout.
Well, Dustin got a little run happy on this ground ball. You're the trail runner. You have to make sure the runner at third takes off. But then when Dustin was at third, Christian said, I've got to get in a rundown to allow Brandon to get to second base. Now, you still have the same thing. You still have second and third, but you traded a guy and a catcher, and Dustin takes over for where Adama should be.
They're going to intentionally walk Blackman to load the bases for LeMahieu. Michael Guaipe in relief of James Paxton, who goes 3+ innings. Rockies have a chance to have a real big inning here. 1 out. The bases will be loaded for LeMahieu with Arenado on deck. DJ's been good in these situations. 2 guys that usually set the table for the Rockies more often than not have been good RBI men. The one that just walked, Charlie Blackmon, you're talking about a guy with 52 RBIs batting leadoff, and DJ's moved all over the place. 54 RBIs for DJ, but keep in mind, a good portion of the first part of the schedule, he was batting 8th and knocking in runs, leading all 8th placed hitters in the National League.
Now he's 4 for 10 with 10 RBIs with the bases loaded, and has hit everywhere in the lineup, started everywhere in the lineup from 1st to 9th this year.
So Paxton done after 66 pitches today. One strike on DJ. 0-2. Rockies saw Guaipe in Denver.
Guaipe, fastball 93 miles on average, can't touch 96. Slider's his second best pitch. He'll throw it about 84 miles an hour.
And this is a line out double play, so the Rockies will have to be satisfied with 2 runs in the 4th inning. They got help on the Kyle Seager error. They have a 3-0 lead, middle of 4. focus. Big MPGs and fun to drive. Ford, go further. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Beautiful city of Seattle, Elliott Bay in the backdrop, and the Rockies have a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Ketel Marte is leading off. He takes a strike from Kyle Kendrick, who has been outstanding in his return to his home state today. Marte hit a fly ball to center field his first time up. Kyle out of Mount Vernon, Washington, about an hour's drive north of here. Change speeds nicely.
He's worked ahead.
Oh, how about this?
Long.
It's from Rocky Zingers. If I were to ask about farther home runs, if I were to guess, excuse me, about farther home runs, it's the temperature. July, the hottest month on record. Well, that's a base hit. How I would respond to that is that if all of these lengthy home runs were limited to the month of July, perhaps you'd have something there. But there were long home runs hit in April and May and June as well.
Does Michael A. Taylor still have the longest home run?
No, Chris Bryant does. 495
that's right.
feet
When he
Chicago.
hit that one off of the, was that off their new scoreboard?
Spilly, I do have. I have a bone to pick with whether it was the old grid or the newfangled method of how they determine how far a ball was hit. It's like there's this rule, and you and I have talked about this before.
It's like
you're right. It's like there's this rule: you cannot hit a 500-foot home run. You can go 492, you can go 486, you can go 495. 500-foot home runs are reserved for Mickey Mantle. Rest his soul.
Right.
What's the deal with that? Come on. Bryce Harper, who's on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was 16 and supposedly had hit a couple 500-foot home runs. How is it that no big leaguers ever afforded the benefit? This is going to be in Cargo's glove. Thought for a moment he got better wood on it. But anyhow, why is it that nobody ever hits a 500-foot home run?
Can't do it. It's just like most of the time people don't want to elect somebody to the Hall of Fame on their first ballot. It's that unwritten rule with baseball. You just can't do it. I don't know why. Doesn't make sense.
I wish they would project how far a ball would land. For instance, we've seen Cargo, for instance, hit balls that are like 75 feet above the ground. They land like 460 feet from
Or they're
home
still
plate.
rising.
Well, they may still be rising. But how far would it go if there were no stands out there? If it was just, a parking lot?
No, they need to.
Runner going and safe at second base.
I like the temperature idea.
There's Marte.
I like the temperature, and I took a little meteorologist barometric pressure class back in the day, and for every 10 degrees, so if it's 70 degrees, from 70 to 80, the ball will travel an extra, 7 feet. So if it goes from 70 to 90 degrees, that's 14 extra feet. So there's your 470. I like that.
I learned that at UC Santa Barbara.
No, I actually just made that up.
You just made that up.
I was going to say.
And not only that, Spilly, how would you explain then, again, April, May, and June? Once again, you're rendered speechless. Slam the gavel down again.
Stop judging me, Judy. I don't like it.
2 strikes right now on Nelson Cruz. Now, are you still up where you were a few minutes ago?
No, I took my chances down the foul pole. So I'm sitting by the left field foul pole, waiting for a baseball. Hopefully not.
You're right in the front row, too.
Yeah, the people behind me are upset.
Bounces up there 1-2 on Nelson Cruz. Leading the American League in slugging at .593, 3 points ahead of Josh Donaldson. The American League leaders in slugging: Mike Trout, fairly quiet lately. They're missing a bat behind Trout and Pujols, and plus Albert has had a really good year with the long ball, but he's hitting beneath 250 last I checked.
Yeah, and I mean Cole Calhoun, but he has to hit at the top of the batting order for the.
There's the 1-2, swung on, foul tip is held. And Kendrick strikes out Nelson Cruz. 2 gone with Marte at second. Second time he's gotten Cruz.
Well, the first time it was looking, this time swinging with the elevated variety on the fastball.
Here's Robinson Cano. Fly ball to fairly deep left field his first time. Cano takes ball 1. Cano yesterday with the home run produced his 50th extra base hit of the year. Becomes the 5th player all time to have 50+ extra base hits in each of his first 11 years in the big leagues. Look at that group. Paul Wainer, Eddie Matthews, Hall of Famers. Pujols will be in the Hall of Fame. Carlos Lee had a tremendous career, just recently retired. El Caballo will be on
living on his ranch
in Texas, I'm sure, right? Herding cattle right now. 2-0. 3-0 Colorado. This is a pitch around by Kendrick. It looks that way.
I'll just go ahead and put him on. Don't mess around. Cano's taking the pitch like he knows it's a pitch around.
Robbie's hit 223 home runs as a second baseman, 8th all time. He's 3 away from Biggio, who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Biggio 226 home runs, more than 600 doubles. And there's the unintentional intentional walk. That'll bring up Trumbo, who grounded to short sharply in the second.
First 10,000 fans through the gates on Saturday, September 26th, will receive a Colorado Rockies baseball hat courtesy of United Launch Alliance. Get your tickets to this game against the Dodgers today. That was the Mariners giveaway hat today.
So Trumbo up with 2 on. Kendrick, good location, and swiping third is Marte. It will be a stolen base. That's his 7th bag. The 0-1. We got away with one there. That was center cut. 0-2.
Tried to bring it back to catch the corner.
1-2.
Was off the 4th strike zone. Mark Trumbo, big deep sigh of relief. He didn't call that close enough to swing at. It's a slider. A split.
That's a great block by Garneau, man. A lot of pressure on you when you have a runner at third base. Call a splitter, you know, there's a good chance it's going to be in the dirt. Two and two on Mark Trumbo. Bring that sinker back on the outside corner again, and it's 3-2. That's the thing about
2-2.
Yeah, and same thing we've talked about before with Kyle. Kyle's a contact pitcher. He doesn't have a swing and miss pitch. He doesn't have that one pitch where when you get upside down in the count as a hitter, you're saying, "Oh no, I'm
in trouble.
I'm in trouble." See where he goes here. 3-2, and he went splitter, and now the bases are loaded, and you got another left-handed bat to deal with. The guy that has swung it well against him career-wise, Seth Smith. Now you got Smith looking with a hip side sinker in the second, but Smith is 5 for 11 against Kendrick, and he comes up with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Bring Steve Foster out of the dugout. After that pitch around to Robinson Cano, you know, occasionally you'll see it from the starter trying to get locked back in. Be careful with Seth Smith ambushing the first fastball. Mariners as a club 204 with the bases loaded. Seth Smith 200. He's 1 for 5.
So here we go. Bases loaded. Smith steps up against Kendrick. They're 2 outs. The Rockies ahead 3-0. And that's inside 1-0. Now you put yourself in a pickle because he's trying to nibble too much, and it's 2-0. This is a hitter's dream.
This is where you're thinking setting it on a tee. That's how precise you want this pitch on 2-0.
And it is ripped but foul. That's the kind of swing, obviously, you want to get off on a 2-0 pitch. Unfortunately for Kyle, he had him out front just enough.
You know he's going to come in with the fastball. Could get the split over in the batter before to Trumbo. Knowing he can't fall behind 3-0, he's got to put one in there, and Smith just turned on him.
Marte's at third, Cano at second, Trumbo at first. 2-1 count. No swing. 3-1. Well, they say the good ones never give in, but we're in a situation now where
have to throw the fastball.
You got to get the ball over the plate. You have Logan Morrison on deck. And this ball lined at Blackman. He got a poor read on it. I don't think he would have really had a play. 2 runs are going to score, and it's 3-2. That had a lot of top spin on it. Charlie thought initially it was going to stay up. I don't know, Jeff, if he would have been able to make the catch.
I don't think so. The line drive to the center fielder is the toughest ball to read because you don't get any depth perception on it. And this froze Charlie momentarily just enough for the ball to sink and land in front of him. You see Charlie in center field, ball's up. You can see he doesn't know what it's going to do, but with that top hand of Seth Smith, when he comes through the zone with it, really rolls over on top, and that'll get the action to die at the end. You had 2 outs, you just couldn't make a pitch, and then the walk to Cano.
The walk to Cano, you kind of understood. He wanted to pitch around Cano. Though I suppose the other side of it was this has got a lot of English on it, and Arenado does a smart thing. He uses his glove there. The pitch around with Cano, up by 3 runs, jury out on. But he wanted to go after Trumbo, and he nibbled too much. He lost Trumbo, and then Smith burned him with a base hit on a 3-1 count. It's 3-2 now. Top of the 5th, and Cargo and Willeen Rosario. Michael Guaipe continues on in relief of James Paxton, who gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, and 3+. Coors Light Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. All right, so who will be the National League MVP? We put together a group of 5. Nolan Arenado we included with the home runs and RBIs, leading the league in both departments. Bryce Harper, he's been, I think, the clubhouse leader most of the year. Paul Goldschmidt, another guy on a team that's, mediocre, having a terrific year again. Anthony Rizzo has had a good, solid year for Chicago. They look like they're going to be in the playoffs. Pittsburgh, they're going to be in. Andrew McCutchen, after a so-so April, has come on and put up typical McCutchen numbers. Never has a guy been traded in the middle of the season and won an MVP in the other league, but we did want to acknowledge what Cespedes has done since going to the Mets. Now, this was a quote from Pedro Martinez. Yeah, that Pedro Martinez, the Hall of Famer. Get to it right after this pitch. It is a bouncing ball, foul. Here's that quote again. In my heart, Nolan Arenado should be the National League MVP. He's hitting everywhere, not only at home, but on the road, and playing great defense. The 20 road home runs, most in the National League. We know what he does defensively, last couple of days notwithstanding. There is precedence for, and Nolan's not going to win the MVP, but there is precedence for a guy capturing an MVP on a sub-500 team, even a last-place team. Guys like Andre Dawson come to mind.
A-Rod did it on a team that was below 500. with the Rangers.
Second.
Cal Ripken, your old
Yeah.
teammate, close friend of yours, he won an MVP on a team that wasn't great. Ernie Banks twice, Mr. Cup.
Yeah, so that's why, I mean, you look at his numbers, they stack up with anybody with the home runs and the RBIs. He should be in the top 3. Now, I don't know if he'll get that or not, just because, people, Bryce Harper, as you mentioned, has been out there at the forefront the whole year.
Yeah, and people always attach it to team success. Makes it sometimes a controversial award. Cargo fouls this off the end of the bat, 1-1. Nolan should be in the conversation. Bryce Harper, when you look at his on-base percentage, really unbelievable this year. Nolan's had an unbelievable year. In the past, there's always seems to be, more often than not, a clear-cut favorite. Even last year, and I know some people don't like when the pitcher, because they have their award, Cy Young Award, but to me, it was pretty clear that Clayton Kershaw was going to be the MVP. Maybe we should be including Spilly Zach Greinke in the conversation.
I don't think that's a bad argument to add him as well. I just think it needs to change from most valuable player to the guy with the best season. I think that would take a lot of argument away from what people are saying, because I agree. I think your record really should have precedent over just stats. So if you want to just take that out of the equation, and then we can actually talk about guys that have had the best season versus most valuable player. Because if it's most valuable player, it's Yoenis Cespedes, no doubt. And there has been precedent before. And Huey, you played with him. Rick Sutcliffe.
It was a base hit for Cargo the other way.
Well, 16-1 with the Cubs after he was traded.
And what Spilly's referencing is a different award, the Cy Young Award, because he went 16-1 in the National League, but he, along with George Frazier, our close friend, was traded after a month with Cleveland. And with Cleveland, he was 4-5 with a 5.15 ERA. He goes to the Cubs and he wins a Cy Young Award in 5 months. I agree with you. The most valuable player in terms of impacting what his team has done, you can't refute the last couple of months for Yoenis Cespedes.
Yeah, but I can't give it to somebody that was traded and is only going to end up playing 50 games or thereabouts with that club and give him an award that's garnered over the course of a year.
But that's my point.
No, I see what you're saying, Spilly, definitely.
Who would you, Spilly, if you had a vote, who would you vote for?
I'd vote for Cespedes. I think without him, the Mets team is totally different.
Who would you vote for?
I might have to look at Andrew McCutchen and what he has meant. He's been in the top 3 the last 3 years, and he has better numbers. He's driven in more runs this year than he did last year.
Yeah, it really is a guy who has the best overall numbers. Harper's numbers are tough to deny. Nolan's numbers are tough to deny.
They are.
The runs he's taken away with his glove.
He's leading Goldschmidt by 10 RBIs. Goldschmidt has 99. He's got Cargo by 1 home run. I mean, he's going to end up with over 40 home runs and close to 120 RBIs come October 4th.
I always think it's interesting to just play the game. What would happen if, let's say, it was switched? So if we're talking most valuable player, what would be the team's record if you had Andrew McCutchen on the Colorado Rockies or vice versa? Nolan on Pittsburgh. Do those players change the landscape of those teams?
I think all the guys we're talking about certainly do. 2 strikes on Rosario. And that's strike 3. So Willeen caught looking, and there are 2 outs, and that'll bring up Justin Morneau. If you're wondering, the Baseball Writers of America, the same people that vote on the Hall of Fame, along with former Hall of Famers, vote on the MVP. And I think most of those guys, not all, but I think most of those guys do their homework and do, evaluate the numbers, and some are swayed by how the team does. Some are probably less swayed by how the team does, and some won't do their entire homework. So a guy like Nolan Arenado, they'll be dismissive of offensive numbers at Coors Field, which we've seen so many times in the past. See Dante Bichette. Barry Larkin edged him out for the MVP in '95.
One last, since we've been arguing all day today, I always found that the most valuable player happened to be on a team where the pitching staff was great. So your starting pitching or your bullpen can actually help a player win his MVP award.
Well, I think what you're saying, Spilly, is if the pitching staff's pretty good, then your team's probably pretty good, and
your record's
pretty good. And by the way, we're not arguing, Spilly. We're discussing.
It's been a game-long discussion.
Yes.
Where we're disagreeing with Spilly.
No.
Ball 4 on Morno. Can you, Doug?
Sure
do you have a moment? Can you bring some Kleenex to Spilly? He's feeling picked on.
By the way, when I do get in arguments, it's not about whether my idea is right or wrong. It's if I say it the loudest. So, typically, that's how arguments are won. Who says it louder?
At the Silborgs family picnics?
Yeah. I have a feeling this discussion is going to continue on the flight down to L.A. tonight.
Of course it is.
Can't wait.
I'm going to sit right next to you, Spilly, you and I.
Yeah, that's what we live for. That's what we love about this game. We can have these discussions.
Yeah,
exactly right.
And that's the greatest thing about sports is with Justin walking Christian Adames up. Christian 1 for 2, but it's guys and gals sitting on a bar stool and discussing their favorite sports topic, and there is no right answer.
Because I'm of that belief that I don't think a pitcher should be an MVP. I know Kershaw, what he did for the 30-plus games that he went out and started last year. That's just me.
I'm on the fence on that one. I'm on the fence because on one hand, I agree. How can a guy only participates in, a fifth of your games be the MVP? But sometimes, like Kershaw, you take him off that club. We're the Dodgers. You take Greinke off that club. He's going today. He's 16-3 with a 168. I mean, that's the stuff out of the late 60s, right?
Right.
And the game, on one hand, and this is not to be disrespectful of your accomplishments in the game, Spilly's accomplishments in the game as a position player. As a strikeout of Adames ends the inning. Rockies continue to lead 3-2. But if you think about it, we always say this game is all about pitching. Well, if it is, maybe a pitcher can get both awards.
You're lucky we're going to break.
That's why I have the final word. Rockies clinging to a 3-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Willeen Rosario had a double and a run scored. Nolan drove in his 110th with another sac fly. And then Seth Smith, the bases loaded single in the 4th to get Seattle on the board. Kyle Kendrick will face Steve Barron here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And his first pitch, a fastball on the outside corner, is in there. Barron, a fly ball to Cargo in right. Still looking for his first big league hit. This one is to LeMahieu, and he's going to throw him out by a stride. I think off the bat he thought maybe. Unfortunately for him, it was gobbled up by the Gold Glover. That'll bring up James Jones.
That first pitch, Kyle is 13 for 17 in first pitch strikes.
And it's interesting that you throw that stat out there. The most noticeable omission to that run of first pitch strikes was last inning when he fell behind. First it was Cano, and then it was Trumbo, and then ultimately it was Seth Smith.
Happened?
So 3 of the 4 that he fell behind were guys in the middle of the lineup with 2 outs and some traffic, and he ended up getting burnt. You know what we've done, Huey? We've rendered Spilly speechless.
That's a first.
Yeah, that is. 0-2 on James Jones.
I'm not speechless.
Well, there he is.
Who is that?
Who are you sitting with, Billy?
I'm hanging out with my cousins, my Canadian cousins. I got 2 Spielborgs sitting next to me. I got Sophie to my left. She's showing me some pictures of our little cousins. And I got Olivier to my right.
Olivier was a really good motorcycle rider, right, Billy?
Yeah, motorcycle rider. He wore the leathers on his knees and stuff and did that crazy bike racing stuff.
Fly ball to left field. Barnes has it. 2 outs. And he told me something last night, because I met your cousin last night. He said they're the only Spielborgs in Canada, period.
The only Spielborgs in Canada, period. So we were trying to figure out, there's actually a large group of Spielborgs in Brazil, and trying to figure out why. I thought maybe it was his dad made a couple trips to Brazil, but it wasn't the case.
It's Billy, smile. You're getting yourself.
Your cousin's taking a picture of. He must really be bored.
Yeah, he is. Are you bored? No, he's having a great time. Sophie's not bored either. Professional soccer player.
Wow.
She was on the national Canadian soccer team.
Really?
Yeah, almost. Well,
so they got all the athletic ability in the family.
yeah, more or less.
Ketel Marte with 2 outs. Singleton scored last inning. And he gets a ground ball here. Kendrick with a strong 5th inning. Good bounce back inning for Kyle Kendrick. So we'll move to the 6th. The Rockies in front 3-2. Sports is brought to you by the Tavern Downtown. Visit Tavern Downtown after Rockies home games and get 2-for-1 draft beers with your same-day ticket. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Day 3 in Seattle for the Rockies. They're up 3-2, trying to take 2 of 3 from the Mariners before heading down the coast to Los Angeles. They'll play the Dodgers 3 night games. And then home for a 10-game homestand, final homestand of the season. J.C. Ramirez is now on, third pitcher utilized by Lloyd McClendon today. And for Ramirez, he won his Seattle debut at Oakland in relief, pitching an inning and 2/3.
Originally signed by Seattle in 2005 and part of the Cliff Lee deal that sent him to Philadelphia. And now back again with the original ball club.
Strike on Garneau. Garneau, a base hit in the second, reached on a key error, the biggest play of this game. Bases loaded. He hit a one-hopper to Kyle Seager, who had to come get the baseball. All he had to do was really just throw the ball to home plate to get the force. Would have had a chance at a double play, in fact, a 5-2-3 double play. And he threw the ball wildly to the plate. 2 runs scored. Right, that right now is the difference in this this baseball game. 3-2 Rockies. Garneau, Barnes, and Blackman against J.C. Ramirez. Michael Guaipe went 2 innings of scoreless relief, couple hits, couple walks, 1 intentional, 2 strikeouts. Right field line and out of play.
On the road traveling and want to watch your Rockies, you can still do that. Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Don't miss a game. Last 2 pitches, 99 from JC.
Got a big arm. Another foul ball by Garneau.
Air on the fan. Hit him right in the hands.
Garneau goes down. And that'll bring up Barnes. Brandon ground ball to third. And ground ball to second as well. Strike at 97. Rockies 3-3 on this trip so far. Two-strike count.
It's a good variation between the fastball and the slider. All the way to 13 miles an hour.
Got a slider to hit, just worked underneath it. Trumbo in left field makes the catch, 2 outs. Charlie's walked twice, once intentionally. He's 0 for 1. Here's our Data Strong fan photo brought to you by T-Mobile. There you go. Good looking family. Thanks, Shannon, for sending that in. At the knees for a strike. Strike.
It's filling up the strike zone. 12 pitches, 12 strikes.
Another error in the stand.
But this guy had a glove. Yeah, at least the other guy had an excuse. Didn't bring the glove.
And he was going to reward him.
No, see, you got to give it to the other guy after that. See, you had your chance.
See, the guy in the white hat. This is easier plays you're going to get in the stands. But Ely, being the nice guy that he is, went over and tossed it to him.
How much do you think that story's going to change by the time he gets home? That it was a screaming line drive.
I know he's got his kids with him. Don't call him about it. Are you kidding me?
We saw you. It clanked off there. You had a skillet on your hand.
Another chance.
That's how it's done.
See, his daughter's saying, "Dad, I could have grabbed it with the hat." Two outs, nobody on. Here's the 1-2, 2-2 on Charlie. Rockies held 4 hits yesterday. They have just 4 hits this afternoon. They do have a lead, though, 3-2. Kyle Kendrick has limited the Mariners to 3 hits. And this ball to really deep left field. Trumbo in the corner, fair or foul? Foul ball.
Slicing away from Trumbo. It ended up slicing too much. It's only about 3 feet from the line over to the wall, and that came within 3 inches, or the width of a baseball, from hitting the line.
And this ball is hit a long way to right field. Going back is Smith, and he'll make the catch mid-track. So Blackman on a long out ends the inning. Middle of 6, 3-2 Colorado. the bullpen, and Scott Oberg's going to take over. Right now, Kyle in line for his second consecutive victory. Numbers on Oberg in his 54th appearance. Hard-throwing young right-hander.
The one plague of Scott has been giving up the long ball, but these are valuable innings. 53 games, now 54 for Scott. Right-hander's hitting .256, 37 strikeouts and 49 2/3.
Kyle Seager, Nelson Cruz, Robinson Cano, 2, 3, 4 for the Mariners here in the 6th inning. Seager's twice hit the ball near to Cargo in right. Seager, one of the hottest hitters in the American League of late. He's hit 47 of his last 60 games, .304 average during that stretch.
Dandy curveball, get me over first pitch to Seager.
But even better, the last 15. He's hitting .458 over his last 15 games with 6 home runs and 17 driven in. Here's the 0-1. That just missed. 1-1.
Must have been inside. Yeah.
Strike.
Well, that's where the veteran got the call over the rookie.
You can see Seager is leading the American League in hitting in September. Outside, 2-1. So Kendrick goes 5 innings, 2 runs, both earned, 3 hits, 2 walks. Came back to back in the 4th inning, 4 strikeouts.
Up throwing 72 pitches, 45 for strikes.
Saw Rex yesterday. Got the 1 out, 1 hitter he faced out. And that's a very good breaking ball to strike out Seager. 1 out. Speaking of strikeouts, Cruz 2 at bats, 2 punch outs.
Start him off with a curveball, and then you finish him off with 1. Talk so much about the catchers and their experience. How about all the youngsters out in the bullpen? Scott Oberg being one of them. You know, 7, 8 guys that have less than a year worth of experience.
Yeah, a lot of young guys. A lot of young guys with hopefully bright futures. Because they have talent. They got tremendous arms. In fact, only 7 Rockies rookies have appeared in more games in a rookie season than Oberg has now appeared in. 0-1 misses, 1-1. Tim Auricola, remember Tim?
Yes.
Mike DeJean, Matt Daly, Ramon Ramirez, Steve Reed, Matt Reynolds, who we just saw, and Javi Lopez, who we just saw. Javi's got the most. Situational lefty, appeared in 75 games his rookie year out of Virginia. Base hit, left side. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Promo code's RocksWin at papajohns.com. Jose Ramirez is now throwing in the Seattle bullpen. Robbie Cano walked and scored last inning. Ground ball to third. This should be 2 because Robbie can't run. And it is a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. So we'll go to the 7th. The Rockies in charge 3-2.
fact, here's a little ballpark tour. Looking at the current Rockies that have played in all 30 ballparks. It's been John Axford, Brandon Barnes, he was able to do that when he was with the Houston Astros, Boone Logan, Justin Morneau, Jose Reyes. Todd Helton actually holds the Rockies record with 46. There's a couple guys in the other that most different ballparks. Gary Sheffield, and I talked to Brandon Barnes and Charlie Blackmon joined in on the conversation about seeing these 30 different ballparks.
I haven't been to Boston.
Go there next year. Yeah.
Haven't been to the South Side.
Chicago.
Yes. Haven't been to Tampa.
No, we never get to go to Tampa.
It seems like there's a lot of places I haven't been now.
So you got Toronto. You have 4.
Haven't been to Toronto.
4.
What about the rest of the American League? I forget about the American League. Yeah, been there.
Baltimore.
Been there. Hit a homer there. What? I got a plaque.
Oh, you hit it onto the street?
Sick.
That's what they'll give you if you hit a ball onto the street in Baltimore. They give you a plaque. One of the names in that list, 51 different ballparks. I can't even name 51 different ballparks, but it was Gary Sheffield. Huey, how many different ballparks did you play at?
That's just what I'm looking up because I don't know. Do you know how many you played in?
How many did I play in?
Yeah.
I'm missing Tampa Bay, and I think that's it.
I think I counted 30 for you. It's just when I just went online real quick to look at it.
How about you, Drew? Have you been to every single ballpark? Have you been to all 51 like Gary Sheffield?
I'd have to look. I've been to all 30 current ballparks, and I've been fortunate enough to have been at a lot that no longer exist. You know, the Shea Stadiums, the old Yankee Stadium, Candlestick Park, that doesn't exist anymore. I'd have to figure it out. It's easier for you guys. You can just look up on Baseball Reference and count the number of parks. I gotta actually have to use my noggin. Huey, you played at 38 ballparks.
38, yeah, just including the Tokyo Dome in Japan.
39.
Ooh, if you want to count
no,
Japanese
that counted
ballparks.
because no, that counted only because we opened up there in 2000.
Played an actual Major League game.
Major League
how many parks did you play in Japan that year? Here's the 3-2 on DJ fouled off.
I think I played in all of them except for I even played in the Tokyo Dome, so I got them all. I got all the Japanese ballparks.
Now, how many is that?
10.
Okay. Jose Ramirez is now in the ball game, not to be confused with J.C. Ramirez, who threw a 1-2-3 6th inning. LeMahieu, Arenado, Gonzalez, Rockies up 3-2. With 4 hits for each team. Ball 4, so DJ draws his second walk of the ball game. You asked that question in the dugout today, Spilly, about who do you think had played in the most ballparks? And to me, it had to be somebody who played in the 80s through the start of the 2000s, because that's when we saw the biggest turnover in the retrofit parks from the 70s went away, and so many new ballparks. And I didn't think the number would be that high. 51. Wow. I mean, think about it. We've said this a lot, that Coors Field's now the 3rd oldest park in the National League, and it opened in 1995. Only Dodger Stadium and Wrigley Field older.
I love the way the new ballparks have been designed too. Some of those old ballparks back in the day, they had like the Coliseum horseshoe type feel, and Huey, you've been to RFK Stadium. It felt weird. Candlestick Park, awkward. The old Coliseum where Oakland still plays, it doesn't feel right. Those stadiums are too big.
Even the Vet in Pittsburgh, old Three Rivers Stadium, the way they were all, trying to fit 2 franchises into one field. Cleveland, the mistake by the lake, played in that one.
And a high pop-up on the infield. Marte. It's called off by Seager.
And it is in a clubhouse. There's some value to being able to say that you've been to all 30 ballparks. It talks about longevity. It talks about being around the game long enough, and guys love talking about it. It's like collecting baseball cards. Hey, have you been here before? Yeah.
Well, we've been here before with the pitching change.
Well, with Cargo coming up, Lloyd McClendon wants a lefty. He's got 11 of them down there. We'll see which one comes out of the pen. Cargo with 1 out and 1 on in the 7th inning. The Rockies up 3-2. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Ryan Spilborghs. This should help Cargo a little bit because I figure there's a little bit of familiarity. The splits, 245 left on left, 265 against righties for Nuno.
Starting for the Mariners, took a start on the 9th against the Rangers. 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, no runs given up.
Since we're discussing everything baseball related under the sun today, would you tinker with the 40-man, the expansion of rosters to the entire 40-man roster if you wanted to in September? Here's Cargo trying to lay down a bunt. He's too fine with it, and it's 0-1.
I would. I mean, obviously, I like the September call-ups. That's how I made my Major League debut. It's special to me to be able to do that. But it is weird that you're playing with a different set of rules for 1 month and the other 5 you're not.
Walk is called.
Stay there. Well, you know what? He could go to third. I was going to say, if he wanted to take off and have a foot race, he could have taken off and kept going because there was nobody over there.
DJ takes off and he causes a balk.
Oh, yeah, that's a balk. That's an easy one to call. You're entitled to second base, but after that, you can take off and go to third if there's nobody there.
Well, now they got DJ hung up. Cargo gonna have to get back to first base. Couldn't get to second. Fielder's choice 5, 6. Yeah, it used to be you just
5, 6,
automatically 5. Was it 5, 6, 5?
Yeah.
You could automatically go, oh, that's 5, 4 or 5, 4.
Not anymore.
No. With all the shifts, 5, 6, 5 on that put out.
Let me finish that thought. So, yeah, I think it's important to have September call-ups. I like it, but I do understand the different rules in September compared to the other 5 months. What I'd like to see maybe then is to go to a 28 active roster for the month of September. You know, you can designate 3 or 4 extra guys instead of having 35 at your disposal.
I love that, Huey. We have actually sat and talked with some of the guys with the Players Association talking about trying to get more roster spots because talking about pitch limits and guys getting injured, being able to hide somebody on a bigger roster would allow potentially not going on a 2-week, 15-day DL. If you want to add more guys, you're allowing a guy like Jose Reyes right now with the Achilles, he could sit and relax for 3-4 days versus going on the disabled list for 2 weeks. I love the idea of adding more guys to the roster.
Yeah, you're talking about during the regular season, the first 5 months.
But it stays that way the entire season. So 30-man roster, 28-man roster the entire year.
Marte flips to second to get the force. Middle of 7. Rockies holding on by a run. Arenado a sac fly. Back-to-back ball games with the sac fly now has 110 driven in. Kyle Kendrick on the plus side. Seth Smith has provided the offense for the Mariners with a 2-run single in the 4th inning. So we go to the bottom of the 7th, and the strikeout man's on the hill. Justin Miller, Mark Trumbo, Seth Smith, Logan Morrison. He may be in there just to match up with Trumbo, with 2 lefties to follow. Justin Miller has struck out 8 in a row. That's a Rockies record. The Major League record, as far back as we're allowed to look into 74, is 10. So Justin Miller is 2 away from tying that.
Well, he's got the first guy he's going to face is Trumbo, who does strike out. He got some power on power.
He's 2 ahead of the old record shared by Luis Vizcaino, Rex Brothers, and Manuel Corpus. Is Corpus throwing in Mexico? I believe he is. Yep. Good for Manny.
Trumbo between the National League and Seattle, 118 strikeouts.
Pitch from Miller. Going to throw in the mid to high 90s, misses ball 1. There's a slider coming up. 1-1. Seventh inning, 3-2 Colorado. Trumbo walk his last time up, also ground ball to short. Missed that slider by a mile, 1-2.
Well, you can throw whatever you want. You can throw a fastball up, throw a slider down and away.
I'll go slider again. Now they're going to go fastball. This is going to end the strikeout string as it's caught in foul ground by Garneau. Good pitch for Miller. So he's in the Rockies record book with 8 straight strikeouts. And with Smith coming up, see if Walt goes to make a move. We can't see the Rockies bullpen, so it's hard for us to determine if anybody's up right now. Well, nobody's up, we were just told by our crew in the truck, so it's Miller's inning. Smith a 2-run single to center in the 4th, also a strikeout. Eric Gagne struck out 10 in a row in 2003. Tom Seaver, struck out 10 straight to end a ball game in 1970. On his way to 19 strikeouts that day for Tom. Terrific.
Did you say was that the game that he struck out the last 10 in a row?
Yeah, last 10.
Last 10 in a row. Yeah.
Guess they didn't have much of a chance that day. 2-1.
Gagne, Ron Davis, Ricky Nolasco.
Wouldn't have thought Nolasco would be on that list. I mean, he had good stuff, but Strasburg you could see. Pfister, I'm surprised on that list.
Jacob deGrom, I can see.
Yeah. In the air to Barnes in left. 2 outs. Smith retired, and that'll bring up Logan Morrison. Dangerous man, Logan Morrison, 16 home runs, most he's hit in the season since he hit 23 at the Marlins a few years ago. Justin Miller working here in the 7th. Inside. It's a crowd of a little more than 21,000, actually almost 22,000 today. They went over 2 million in attendance yesterday here at Safeco Field.
24,000 last night, 19, almost 20,000 on Friday night. September 21st is the last Purple Monday of the season, where Purple win prizes. The first 5,000 fans will receive a Purple Monday Fudd hat. Sure, that's an Elmer Fudd type hat.
And this too is fouled off. Battling away, Morrison.
Logan Morris sometimes in the offseason hitting down at Bardo's.
Yeah.
Down at Parker.
Seen him in there. Two and two. All right, enough.
Oh, he caught one this time. The guy down there.
He did get that
one. The guy with the hat.
That was a tougher chance.
Well, but because he turned his head. He turned his head and stuck his glove out. Here it is. So he turns his head, sticks his glove out. That one goes right in. So 2 foul balls today.
3-2. Pitch will be the 37th of this at bat between Justin Miller and Logan Morrison.
Well, or the 10th.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Logan's just trying to start early so he can try to hit a home run and tie it up. Even the ball's away, he's going out and trying to hook him.
It was fun for a while, Logan. Now it's annoying.
Enough already.
4. So Logan Morrison wins the battle. He draws a walk, and that'll bring up Steve Barron. He's scheduled, but he's going to get called back.
Go to Montero.
It'll be Jesus Montero. Montero homered yesterday to dead center, one of 4 home runs hit by the Mariners in yesterday's ball game. See that note on Chris Sale? 103 years. First guy to strike out 250 hitters.
Watch him throw. You can understand why he can get some strikeouts. Ball explodes, and he's coming from all different arm and legs and pick up that baseball. Good luck.
1 ball, 1 strike. And the former catcher swings and misses, 1 and 2. Much more of a DH now and part-time first baseman, Jesus Montero. He splits the chores with Logan Morrison. Got the start yesterday against Johan Flande, the lefty. 2 and 2.
The splits career better against left-handers than they are right-hander.
Mariners with 4 home runs yesterday. 18th time they've hit 4 more in a game at Safeco since it opened in '99. 2 and 2.
4 home runs, getting 79 on the season at Safeco. That's 4th most in their history here.
Yep.
2000, they hit 92. 2013 at 88. 2006, 81. So I think they might be able to surpass the 06 season. Let's hope that starts tomorrow against the Angels.
Swung on and missed. Miller strikes out Montero with a fastball up and in. So Morrison left at first, and we move to the 8th inning. The Rockies still leading 3-2. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price in sales and service guaranteed. And by StubHub, Rockies fans. Did you know the StubHub app is personalized just for you? Get the StubHub app today. Rockies leading on this Sunday in Seattle 3-2. They won on Friday night, lost last night. Heading off to Los Angeles right after the ball game. The Rockies in the 8th inning will have Justin Morneau to lead it off. And the new arm out there is Tony Zick. Rockies saw him on Friday night.
Fifth reliever used today by manager Lloyd McClendon. Fourth game, part of the ERA, jumped up on Friday night when he gave up an earned run in 1 inning.
Ball and a strike now on Justin Morneau.
Diaz up for the Rockies in their bullpen.
He's been handling more often than not of late, the 8th inning. Usually by himself. We've seen him in a piecemeal situation also. Jones will run in. Boy, he took off. He saw the big swing and stayed back, and then he realized he was in shallow center field. He came flying.
Tell there's not a whole lot of people here, because that's 2 times today I've heard the outfielders be called for a ball. Once in left field by Mark Trumbo, and then this one from Jones in center field.
Christian Adames reached on an error, a base hit, and a strikeout for the switch hitter.
Walt was praising Adames and what he's done in his role this year, and you can just tell the confidence. I mean, kid won a batting title last year or this winter down in the Dominican.
1 for 15 last year when he came up briefly, but far more comfortable and, as you say, confident in this second stint in the big leagues. Called strike 3. Right in the strike zone at 97, 2 outs. Dustin Garneau. Dustin a base hit back in the second. Well, look at this. It's like a line. It's like these guys should be a Canadian line, the second line, the Garneau line. Got LeMahieu on a wing and Morneau on the other wing.
You say Dustin centering that line?
I had Dustin centering the line. Actually, I think DJ would be the better
That's
center.
what I was going to say, because he can go end to end.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you have two. It's a heavy-duty line for the half, because you have 2 kind of power wings, power forwards.
And DJ can skate.
And DJ can skate. He's got a hockey background.
I'm not saying that Justin can't.
Justin can skate. Has to. They kick you out of Canada if you can't skate. Ball and a strike on Garneau. And Garneau lines this to shallow right. Coming on quickly is Smith. Then it's a 1-2-3 8th inning for Tony Zick. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies 3 and the Mariners 2. Back to Safeco Field in a moment. pitch there. And she's making sure that all right. Time for the CenturyLink link to what's next here. The matchups at Dodger Stadium. Good one tomorrow. John Gray against Clayton Kershaw. Chris Russell Tuesday, and the former Rocky, the lefty Brett Anderson, Jorge De La Rosa, and the former Brave Alex Wood. So the string of lefties just continues.
5 out of the 6 pitchers are going to be left-handed with the 2 the Rockies are throwing. But the right-hander, Jairo Diaz, will take this the 8th inning and handle it. 9 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, .96 ERA.
James Jones at the plate. He takes ball 1. There's the 1-1, and that is bunted. It's bunted to the warning track and hauled in there by.
They got it over the head of the pitcher and the first baseman. But you had DJ.
We saw one a few years ago.
You know
Remember
what?
that, Huey? Over
it was,
into short left field for a double.
Well, and it was with the Arizona, the outfielder for Arizona. Gerardo Parra hit a double.
On a bunt.
Well, not this time. DJ. Go down in the book as a line drive to the second baseman.
Ketel Marte, 1 for 3, singled and scored back in the 4th. Good pitch.
Real good pitch. Hard 92.
And with his repertoire, I'm not sure that wasn't some sort of change. I know that sounds silly, folks, but it had splitter movement, 92, and he's normally, 97 to close to 100. There's 98. Just looking at the movement on that, that was not straight fastball.
Whatever he wants to call it, it was effective.
Two and 2. Tom Murphy did a nice job last night receiving the baseball. Cardinals had a good ball game behind the dish.
I think that's a slider. He gets out in front, pulls down on it to get that tumbling action.
Fastball fouled off at 98 by Marte, the 21-year-old.
Guys up, Brooks Brown. Boone Logan.
Slicing away from Barnes, and it is a foul ball. You're frustrating for a corner outfielder. Every stride you take, it's the ball moves 4 feet away from you.
You never gain ground. You keep running, and it keeps going away from you. Was it Charlie hit one earlier a couple innings ago out to left field along the same track.
Ooh, how did he stay off that? 3-2 walk. Marte, who can run, is at first base with one out. Kyle Seager coming up.
Justin Morneau at first, just looking into the dugout with the left-handed Kyle Seager up. He's just saying, I'm not going to come off the bag very far. I'll just come off one step to make sure that nothing gets by me to my glove side down the line.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Rockies still up 3-2. Tom Wilhelmsen is up in the Mariners' pen if they take the lead or if they get even. One and 0 on Seager. And 2-0.
Healthy rip from Seager.
Big star in North Carolina. Had a huge College World Series when he was at Chapel Hill.
The alma mater of Walt Weiss.
This ball is well hit to left field. Barnes is going to lay out and make the catch. What a play by Brandon Barnes. The throw back to first. Doubles up Ketel Marte. He was all the way around second. You talk about a phenomenal play and a long double play. He dives on the warning track about 15 feet from the 330 mark in that corner, and he started that double play.
And then the relay from Christian Adames to first. So lay out Superman. There's a second out, and then gather yourself to make the throw in. Wow, what a double play.
A tremendous play to end the inning. So Look at that catch again by Brandon Barnes, who's getting ready to lead off against Tom Wilhelmsen.
Well, it's worthy of another look. We talked about left-handers and hitting the ball away from guys and slicing. This time he makes the catch, hits hard down there, gets the ball in almost like an infielder because that ground knocked the wind out of him. And then they threw out Marte, who had rounded second base. Now get a knock.
So the closer for the Mariners is in, even though they're down 3-2. And his first pitch is in there for a strike.
And here's the relay from Adames. Yeah, you don't even need to worry about challenging that play. Out by a couple feet.
Sliders fouled back, 0-2.
I think he's still feeling the effects of that dive because he just called timeout. He's having a hard time catching his breath.
That's all rib cage. Pretty much you're landing on.
Think back to Corey Dickerson.
Holy Brandon Barnes, you bet. And it slowly hit to Cano. Who Wants Tacos fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts when the Rockies score more than 7 runs in a game for the Rockies Taco Special. Charlie Blackmon has walked a couple times today, 0 for 2 otherwise. On the outer edge, a strike. Strike, 0-2. Fastball misses. The Mariners will have Cruz, Cano, and Trumbo, the heavy part of their order in the bottom of the 9th.
They'll get John Axford.
Two and two on Charlie. 3-2.
Starting to get the shadows. Oh, sun's peeking through the clouds. Pitcher standing in the sunlight, hitter in the shadows.
That'll bring up DJ with 2 outs. plate with the slider. It's 0-1. Excuse me, it's 1-0.
Helpson, original draft pick of the Milwaukee Brewers, signed with the Mariners as a minor league free agent.
And the 2-0 in, 3-0.
Careful, DJ.
Nelson, 31-year-old from Tucson.
Back off that fastball, just get it over at 98.
Yeah, that's about what I was going to say. The get it over 98-mile-an-hour heater. We had that the other day.
Yeah.
The third time in the ball game, DJ's drawn a walk. That will allow Arenado to hit here in the ninth.
Calling all college students. College night at the ballpark is Friday, September 18th. Your package includes a game ticket and sunglasses. Visit Rockies.com/college for college night, September 18th.
Pitch out, nothing on.
DJ at 88.5% stolen base success ratio. Only two guys better. That's Dyson at 92.6 and Billy Hamilton at 88.9.
On Arenado. One and two on Nolan. Pitch out. 2-2.
There you go.
Going there. 2-2. Now DJ will be going. 2 outs. See John Hicks. His infielders know.
And also for Logan Morrison to move behind DJ at first.
And swing and a miss to end the inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. We've been locked in at 3-2 since the 4th inning. John Axford wants to make that the final when we come back. On 8 2/3 scoreless for Big John. 14 strikeouts, just 2 walks allowed in that stretch. He'll get Nelson Cruz, Robinson Cano, and Mark Trumbo trying to close it out. What is he doing there? Well, he's an avid photographer. This was early this morning, and he was out taking photos of the ballpark, and this is one with a fisheye lens taken at PNC Park a few weeks back by Axford, and he's posted on Instagram.
Looking for his 23rd save. 22 of 27.
He's righted the ship. He had a couple-week period where it was a rough go. He had a very good first few months, and then he lost his closer's job, earned it back, and since earning it back, he's been very, very solid.
For his last 12 games, 6 saves, 11 scoreless. This is usually the case. He's working through the meat part of the lineup.
So Big Nelson Cruz, he doubled in the 6th inning. First pitch misses, ball 1. Jairo Diaz, a lot of walk-in, an otherwise clean inning. Rockies with just 4 hits in the game. The Mariners with just 4 hits in the game. Rockies had only 4 hits last night. Here's the 1-0, and that's outside. 2-0. We'll deal with this from time to time. Falling behind, it counts. And walking some guys. You don't want to create traffic, clearly. 3-0 on Cruz.
And when he does, it's usually to his glove side where he falls off hard towards first base and kind of pulls the ball across his body.
Cruz has got the green light, perhaps. Well, it didn't look like it on that take, so it's 3-1. this at a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Here's my power at 98 against your power. And John won that matchup.
Yeah.
He's got one more pitch, though, to finish that matchup off.
See if he goes heater again or goes to that curveball. 3-2. Fastball fouled off.
The curveball is the one he struck out Kyle Seager to end the game on Friday night.
Settle on fastball away.
These foul balls sound loud.
Yeah, it's a strong guy. Tied for the major league lead in home runs with 41. Another 3-2. Got him on a fastball up and away. 1 out in the 9th. And that was a big, big strikeout.
Huge, and both times he climbed the ladder, elevated it up towards the letter. Nelson Cruz swung underneath the baseball. Definite home runs where you see the back shoulder drop down, try to create some lift.
So here's Robbie Cano, 0 for 2 and a walk. Homered last night. A little bit beneath the knees. This at-bat starting kind of the way the at-bat with Cruz started. Big John fell behind 3-0 and then ends up coming back and striking out Nelson Cruz. It's 2-0 on Cano. Mark Trumbo's on deck.
Keep it down.
Ooh, boy. Did that, I don't know if that got part of the cap. John's okay, thankfully.
He's looking at his cap. Oh, my. This was scary. Just ducked in the nick of time, and it skimmed the back edge.
We're going to get a pinch runner for Cano, who's been playing with that abdominal strain. So Cano at first with 1 out. It'll be Sean O'Malley running. Curveball. It's not what he's looking for. 0-1.
I was looking for the 98. And I get the 78.
me, 0-2 on Trumbo.
He looked real tardy on that fastball.
Fastball left up.
But I like that pitch.
Yeah, John Axford's gotten stronger here late in the season. We've remarked about it that seen him throwing 98, 99 consistently, which has been about a click or two harder than he's worked most of the year. Two and two.
Well, Malley has some speed at first base. I mean, stolen base speed.
Foul tip, and it's held. 2 outs. Trumbo strikes out. And look who it is, Seth Smith, coming up for the Mariners. You figure it would come down to this. Smith has always hit the fastball well. He has given the Mariners their entire dose of offense today. A 2-run single way back in the 4th inning.
Seth 0 for 5 and a strikeout against John.
Fastball's up. It's 1-0. O'Malley running for Cano. 2 outs. Here's the 1-0 count. And this is in the air to center field. Easy play for Blackman. And the Rockies win it 3-2. John Axford gets the save. Kyle Kendrick has won 2 straight. James Paxton takes the loss. This is the first interleague series win for the Rockies since May the 5th and 6th of last year, when the Rockies took down Texas. Terrific win on a day where there was not a whole lot of offense. 9 combined hits. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. That was the 8th inning play by Brandon Barnes. That slicing drive away from him. Not only does he